Hello everyone, good afternoon. Give me 1 second please. Oh, this software is saying error. Vale. Quit. Good. Hello everyone, welcome to Trolleheim with your host, Rabbi Aníbal Mas. Streaming live here from the Asper Jewish Community Center or Jewish Community Campus in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Snow is still there, as you can see. We had a very interesting Halloween with snow, and I thought that will deter many kids to go around. Nope, I actually ran out of candy once again. I don't learn the lesson. I keep buying more and more, and I still run out. I don't know.
Keep having more kids, Rabbi.
Yeah, come on. Not that fast. Welcome to, let's see who's here. The Grossmans are here. Amparo is here. Who else is here? Shelly is here with me. Of course she's here with me. Yeah. That's interesting. I said that we have 2 people online only. That's unusual. Hopefully more people will come. It's a good Parsha. Parshat Vayera. When these 3 mysterious people, actually, and the rabbi said later on that they were angels, came to visit Abraham. Remember?
I do remember.
Holly Mandelkern is here. Welcome.
No, that's not true. I remember the story. I'm not that old that I can remember the event.
Okay.
Bad joke, Rabbi.
Okay.
Gray-haired lady joke.
As my brother used to have a joke about that. He said, "Come on, I'm pretty sure you were serving beverages at Noah's Ark." Right, and he also used to say, when God said, "Let it be light," you already have a generator at
There
home.
was one hell of a flash. That's the joke that I
Anyway, bad jokes, but we still laugh.
But the Griffs, you know, if you go into
Rocky
the New
Pollack
Testament-
is here. Hold on, Rocky Pollack is here.
The New Testament with the 3 wise men.
3 wise men. Yeah, we probably have 3 wise men among our congregants. At least we have
That might
Bill
be-
Wiseman, Alice Wiseman, and some other
That
wise.
might be debatable. But these 3 men that went to visit Abraham, does everybody have a 3 angel story?
Well, I don't know. The thing
It's
is,
the anthropologist in me asking the question.
there are a few things. So now let's start a little bit of Torah. David Grossman said, "We enjoyed the Latin American cantorial concert." Oh, you mean the song we put all together, the prayer for the soldiers. Thank you. Yeah, that was actually, I should give a shout out to my colleague Ari Litvak from Mexico, that he did all the editing with 50 cantors. And you know how difficult it is? He gets all the voices and all the videos.
And
And then you have to synchronize everything. And then not everybody is in tune. So he has to pitch correct every voice, one by one, 50 voices. He did it long hours overnight. He put it together in less than a week.
fantastic.
Yeah, he was great. He had a little help, but
When did you send that out?
I sent it
I don't
not
remember.
this, a week ago. A week
I'll
ago.
go back and look for
And
it.
I'm doing another one with him, just a duet. So everybody stay tuned. There is another duet. It will be just me and Cantor Litvak doing it. And he's also in charge of the production, so hopefully it will come out soon. Okay? So, yeah, let's go back to this week's Parsha, when we have the 3 angels coming to visit Abraham. And the rabbis learn a lot from the theological point of view about angels. One of the reasons one of the ways how we learn that angels have no free will is from this week's Parsha. Because what happened is that we have the 3 angels come to visit Abraham.
Yeah,
One of the angels give him the news.
yeah,
Hey, you're going to be a daddy.
yeah.
Remember,
That's right. And he laughs because he thinks
Sarah
it's not possible.
laughed, whatever. We are going to talk about that in a minute. But then the story continues, and it says the 2 angels went to Sodom to destroy Sodom and to save Lot. And I said, whoa. What do you mean 2 angels? How many were they? 3. What happened with the other one?
Where is he?
That's it. That was his mission, to tell Abraham
Oh,
that he
so
was,
once the mission is completed,
because the
he
angels
vanishes again.
are unidimensional. They can do only one thing. There are some angels, according. I don't want to go too much into it because I'm not an expert. But then the Kabbalah will expand this, and they will kind of map the angels. There are books that they actually map the angels, giving names and functions or positions or tasks. So what the Zohar and the Kabbalah will say is that there are some angels that they serve a single purpose and they're gone. And there are others that even though they serve a single purpose, it's always the same angels intervening. For example, the angels of healing is Raphael,
Yes.
right? Those,
Yeah,
I think they call it
yeah.
archangels.
Archangel.
They have a higher level because it's always the same one, but they are unidimensional.
Okay.
All they can do is one single thing.
Okay.
There is always the same confusion with the Satan, the Satan.
Yes.
Is it a fallen angel? Is it a force opposite to God? Not at all. The Satan was created by God to be a pain in the neck, to put us obstacles so we can overcome the obstacles or fail.
This is not the voice on your shoulder saying,
It is.
don't do that.
No, it's the one that said, do it. But it's
Oh,
not,
yeah, that's right.
it's not a force opposite from God. It was sent by God to do that.
Not a test.
And if you don't like it, hey, don't shoot the messenger. Go complain to the boss. Okay, but that's the way it is, and that's the way the rabbis understand the world operates. We have angels. Some of them are what we consider good because we like the outcome. Oh my God. And I'm sorry, guys. There is a problem with the camera here. I'm using the camera of the computer. If I do this, look at this. It recognized some gestures, and I forgot to. It does some funny things.
Ah,
Yeah. Anyway.
good gesture, Rabbi.
Yeah.
Don't
Look.
do it.
If I do this, look at this. And it will. Anyway, it's a new thing for the Mac computers, if you want to know. So I apologize in advance if you see some of these crazy things going around. It's not me doing it. It's a Mac. Okay. It's called the FaceTime camera. It has some reactions.
censored.
Some reactions. Anyway, so this is what happened with the angels, and we are going to see angels in this parsha. But there is something else that we learn about the angels, and is that Abraham didn't recognize them as angels. He described them as people. So, funny thing, if Abraham, a prophet, couldn't recognize them as angels, what about us?
For sure not.
What about us? Do we have people around us that they're actually angels and we don't know? Angels in disguise.
Could be.
So could you become a temporary angel in the sense that God removes your free will for you to do something and then poof is back? I don't know. Because this story gives us some answers about the angels, but they open up for other questions. I don't want to go there now, but think about it, right?
Or it could be that you meet someone by chance, and that person has a profound effect upon you, depending on whether you meet them for 10 minutes or 2
Yeah.
hours, and then they disappear from your life, and you have no idea where they were.
Correct.
That could be an angel.
You can have somebody interacts with you and they disappear. Absolutely. So let's start with today's class. And I have a few things to share with you. And before we start with the story of the angels itself, I want to share with you something very interesting that happens in this parsha. And I just shared this story with the Choosing Judaism class on Sunday, and they were a little shocked. You'll see why. Okay, let me read it first, then we talk about it, okay? Goes like this. They say to him, they are the angels, him is Abraham. Where is Sarah, your wife? Okay. He, Abraham, said, there in the tent, he said, one of the angels said, because this is what you say, he said, who is he? The Torah keeps saying he, and then you have to figure out who is who. So I said, he said there in the tent, that's Abraham. Then he said, now is the angel. That's what the Torah said. He, it doesn't say they, because this is the angel with the mission to communicate this message to Abraham.
Okay.
And remember that the word in Hebrew for angel is malach, which is messenger.
Yes.
So here the malach is actually a messenger. It's communicating a message from God.
Right.
Okay, so he, one of the angels, we don't know which one, said, I will certainly return to you around this time next year, and Sarah, your wife, will have a son. Okay? It's almost like also he's coming back to follow up, right?
Yes.
Now, Sarah heard him from the entrance of the tent behind him. Okay?
And she starts to laugh.
And anyway, if somebody writes this in this day, they will say, this is so sexist, right? Portraying the woman listening from behind the door. And this was caught by the rabbis in the Talmud. And it's sad that they kind of make a joke about it. They make a joke about it, saying, now we understand why women listen all the conversations. It's written in the Torah. We don't talk too much about this, but the rabbis had this dark humor, or sometimes like a inappropriate humor. Okay?
I won't say anything.
Don't say anything.
I won't say anything.
And don't listen from behind the door.
No.
No, let's continue. Okay? So Sarah heard him from the entrance of the tent behind him. Abraham and Sarah were old, advanced in years, right? Sarah was past the age of childbearing. So Sarah laughed to herself, thinking, I am old, and so is my Lord, which is my husband, right? I am to have pleasure again. It's almost like what she's saying is, Abraham is too old, he can't perform, right? How in this world am I going to have a child? So, but listen to this. Now God intervenes, okay? And now it's not he or they, it says Adonai. Adonai said to Abraham, why did Sarah laugh and ask, am I really going to bear a child when I'm so old? That's not what Sarah said.
What did she say?
Huh?
What did she say?
She said, he's too old. My husband is too old. And God is asking Abraham, why is she saying that she is too old? Okay. So, if you think here, whoa, hold on. We have an even more difficult question to ask here. Why is God lying? With one of the names of God is truth, emet. But God here is lying, okay?
Well, what does he know that I don't know?
Well, and it looks like Abraham Sarah laughed, right? And she was loud. And Abraham said, why is she laughing, right? So the rabbis understand that created, right out of the bat, a tense situation.
Between the two of them.
Between husband and wife. And now God is intervening to restore the peace in the home. Shalom Bayit. That's why this week's class, and if you see online, I named it Shalom Bayit, because I believe this is a huge part of this parsha, Shalom Bayit. Okay? So let's continue, because it's a very interesting thing, and the language that the Torah uses is extremely important here. Okay? So, and yes, before I go to the next slide, God lies here, because that's not at all what Sarah said. Okay? So let's continue, and I want to say that I'm going to the Midrash now, Midrash Rabbah.
Is he really lying, or is he saying, what she really means, or what I really mean?
Doesn't matter, that's not what she said.
Okay.
Because if I have to repeat word by word what she said, I would say, well, she's laughing and saying that you're too old, dude.
Okay. Got it.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, Midrash Rabbah. Bar Kapara said, great is the cause of peace.
Okay.
For even scripture itself spoke untruthfully. So basically, the Torah allowed the lie. Okay? It's interesting. He doesn't want to use the word lie, it's untruthfully. In order to preserve peace between Abraham and Sarah. So the question is there somewhere in the Torah a commandment saying you shall not lie? I ask everyone at home as well. Do you remember any verse in the Torah, or any commandment in the Torah saying you shall not lie? Because if so, then God is breaking his own commandments. It's an open question. Please feel free to use the chat to answer that.
Isn't there something about thou shalt not bear false witness?
No. I'm asking, is there a specific commandment? You shall not lie. Is one of the 613, yes or no?
I don't know. I can't remember, but I honestly don't know.
Anyone at home? Randy. Oh, okay, let's see. Michael Legov says, not really. Randy said, no, there is no such a commandment. Anyone else? Rocky Pollack. The question did not have a truth value. It was just Hashem having Socratic dialogue with Abraham. Socratic dialogue. You're Rocky.
Good for you, Rocky.
Okay.
So, but what about this thing about bearing false witness? Isn't that someone in the 613, or is that in the other book?
I'm going to answer the question right now.
Okay.
Okay, but for that I have to go to the next slide, and you will see what is the commandment in the Torah. Okay, there is a commandment: you shall not lie, but there is always a but. The Torah says, keep far from lying. That's a commandment, and it's from Exodus 23:7. It's usually understood that you shall not lie. In fact, some of the translation of the Torah will say you shall not lie.
Period.
But the Torah says keep, the Hebrew, the literal translation is keep far from lying. Okay? The rabbis make a point of teaching that the text says keep far from lying and not do not lie. They explain that there are times where lying is acceptable. This usually involves, number one, making peace. Like from Abraham and Sarah, God intervened, and a little lie there. Or at least he didn't tell all the truth. Because she did say at one point that we are both old.
Yes.
But he ignored the second part, right? Number two, protecting someone's life or property. Can you imagine if somebody breaks into the house and says, hey, a terrorist is chasing after me. Please protect me. Next you know, somebody else knock at the door, bearing a gun. I said, hey, do you have anybody in your body?
Well, you have two choices, yes or no.
Sorry?
You have two choices, yes or no.
But if you say yes, you're telling the truth. The other person is going to be killed. If you say no, you are lying, you're saving a life.
Or you could both be killed.
Well, you don't know. But you assess
I
that
get
you
the
won't be
point.
killed,
I get the point.
right? Because if yes, that's true, and that's more complicated halakha, right? What if you are going to be killed if you lie? But that's beyond this. So in that case, you have to lie to protect the life. Okay? And the third one, sometimes, because this is so complex that unless you really know the halakha of this, you have to be careful with the next one. That is not hurting someone's feelings. Hey honey, do I look fat?
With a little white lie.
Do I look fat?
Yeah,
What do you say?
I'm in trouble.
Hey honey, how is my new tie? Do you like it? I just spent all my savings on it. It's terrible. But why would you say?
You think you love it. It's very, well, so then you're in trouble depending on how you answer positively,
So, what do you say, guys, at home with these two questions that I
It's
just...
either gorgeous or it's very nice.
These two questions that I just shared with you, what do you think? If somebody asks you, hey, how is my dress?
Well, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Do you like my new hairstyle?
The rabbi is very becoming.
What do you do? Do you tell the truth of what you think?
You have to be nice. You can't be cruel.
Yeah,
You can't be cruel.
it's like the joke, hey, I just came back from the salon. Was it closed? Okay.
You can't be cruel.
You see, I think nobody wants to answer the question, I guess, eh? Rocky Pollack said, but you aren't damned. That's the point. Anyway, so I guess I will leave that question open, okay? Because this is the case when the rabbi says sometimes you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. So it's not that you're lying, but you're keeping away from
The little white lie.
a little, yeah.
The little white lie.
Some people are better than others at doing that, but those are the only three exceptions. And I read once they are actually writings of halacha about this, and you have to be very careful when you do it. Okay, you have to be very careful. Yeah, Holly Mandelkern said, "Tell the truth, but tell it slant," and that was said by Emily Dickinson.
Yes.
Emily Dickinson. Okay, so let's move on. Just this goes for all the courageous people in the chat that want to take a stand. Lest somebody else is reading over their shoulders. Okay, let's continue with the next one. Okay. Let's go back to what God did. Okay? The little lie here. I'm going to read for you the opinion of Rabbi Chaim Leib Shmulevich. Okay? He was a Musar rabbi, and he said, this act of God is an indication of the tremendous severity with which he views even the slightest division between two people. Okay? God cannot stand
Conflict between people.
division between people. Okay? So because sometimes what we do is when you have to make an ethical decision in Judaism, what you have to do is you have to create a ranking of mitzvot. What if you perceive that there is a conflict between two mitzvot? You have to know which one trumps the other. Right?
Yeah.
So what comes first? Do not steal or do not kill?
Do not kill.
Exact, but you need to know that. Unless you create a mental ranking of all the commandments, if you have to apply an ethical, or you have to make an ethical decision on the fly, I'm not talking about major things. I'm talking about day-to-day things. Unless you have at least a little bit of understanding of the different commandments and how they rank, you will have a problem making a decision because you don't know which one to apply.
True.
Right?
And you also, I think, have to have an understanding of human nature as well.
But yeah, that's why it's so important to get familiar and to study Torah, because a big part of studying Torah, there is a commandment that is Talmud Torah, and we have to do it every day.
Yes.
A big part of that is the study of ethics from the Torah, because we need to use it every day.
Yeah.
There is a beggar on the street. You have half a second to decide, do I give him money or not? If I give him money, he may go and buy drugs. If I don't, he might starve. Whoa. You understand that you have different
We do.
different principles at odds there, right?
We make these value judgments almost every day on
So-
the street. Yeah. for
So
sure.
there are some people that they will say, and that there are campaigns in Winnipeg that say, don't give money, come here, pick up, there is a chip that you give them, they will give them access. You can buy them before them, we'll give them access to a shelter and thing. There are many attempts, right? But you can understand how complex life could be and how much easier it will be if we can understand a little bit more about these ethical things.
I never know
Okay?
what to do, so I keep a little box of energy bars in the car
Yeah,
and
but
give one out.
yeah, but different people have different solutions. Some people have.
I'm not sure that's always the right thing to
No,
do,
no.
but it's better than saying no.
I've seen people that they will never give money because that I'm saving the person's life by not giving money so they won't overdose. And some other people will say all the opposite. No, you give money because I'm pretty sure.
It needs to buy food, it needs
Yeah.
to be warm.
So, but I don't want to open up the conversation, but you will have to understand that that's why we have different things. So going back to the class, preserving the peace between two people, how high does it rank?
Number one.
Well, according to the Torah, clearly, even before not lying.
I think that's got to be number one.
No, it's
pretty
not.
close to it.
But the number one is always preserve the life. Okay? But then you have the prohibition of embarrassment, the prohibition of desecrating a body, a dead body. Those are pretty high, but again,
This is somewhere in the top 10.
this is
what you're saying?
a lot. When we are studying ethics, we can study more than that. Okay, let's continue. Okay? It also is instructive of our great obligation to secure harmony and to suppress even the remotest possibility of discord. Now, full disclosure, all this text, when it says slight division between two people, all these rabbis are talking about husband and wife. Okay? There is a different application.
How nice.
Yes, we are studying Torah online and in person.
Okay, let's do this.
So, that it's not the same of preserving the peace between two strangers, right? Two family members, two husband and wife. Rankings. The more you study, the more you understand it. Okay? So all these things were written specifically, even though it doesn't say that, specifically to understand the relationship between husband and wife. Okay? So according to Rabbi Chaim Leishmulevich, it says preserving the peace between husband and wife very high in the ranking. Let's continue. Now let's go a little closer in time to Rabbi Eliyahu Eliezer Dressler. He writes this. This ruling, okay, ruling about making some exceptions to preserve the peace between husband and wife. This ruling is not merely an indication of the immense value that the Torah places on peace. More than that, it is a revelation of the true parameters of the emet, truth, that the Torah values so, and the sheker, falsehood or lie. You know, you have emet is truth, sheker is a lie, or falsehood, that it scorns. Emet, which is commonly defined simply as truth, actually refers to anything that will bring a result that is desirable to God, and sheker is the opposite. Okay? So here this rabbi is saying that emet and sheker are relative to the outcome.
Oh, okay.
It's his opinion, right? While truthfulness is most often emet, truthfulness is most often emet, okay? Don't let that go unnoticed, this phrase. In a situation where the interest of peace will best be served by this honesty, that represents the emet.
So here we go to Shalom Bayit again.
Yeah, you have to be very careful with that. And again, you have to be very familiar with halakha, because sometimes once the truth is revealed, it can backfire. Right? Hey, how does my dress look like? You look beautiful. Then you go to wherever you have to go, and then you come back in tears. Everybody was laughing. Why didn't you tell me? So you have to, you understand?
Oh, I do.
So-
Yes, I do.
you have to be very careful and very sure of what you're doing. Let's continue. Our obligation to emulate God, whose seal is emet. God and emet are synonyms.
Yes.
God and truth are synonyms.
And you know,
Some people, when they come to the Torah, and I've seen this with a guy who was an ex-Satmar. He was living in Santiago, going to a conservative synagogue now. But he grew up in a Satmar community. Every time he will have an aliyah, he will say, Torah emet,
yes.
Hashem emet, Moshe emet.
Okay.
Okay?
get that.
And then he said, Baruch Hu, Adonai Mevorah. Okay? He said, the Torah is truth, God is truth, Moses is truth.
So don't say that.
Anyway, just saying. Just saying.
Emet.
Everything is okay. Let's continue. So our obligation to emulate God, whose seal is emet, requires that we cling unflinchingly to emet, but we are simultaneously enjoined to recognize the straightforwardness which will lead to the disintegration of relationship is not emet at all. So if you call emet, if you call truth to something that will destroy a couple or a relationship, then is that truth as a concept? Okay, let me go to the messages here. We have Amparo who said, because Abraham apparently at one time must have been slightly permissive concerning his prophecy, this influenced Sarah, who laughed, who disbelieved upon hearing the prophecy concerning her bearing a child. Okay, I want to talk about that in a minute, Amparo. Rocky, so there is a justice principle involved in assessing truth value. There is a justice principle. Okay, can you expand, Rocky? I don't know. I wish I would be here talking about it. It will be easier in this case. But if you can type more about it, I would like to see. Now, Amparo, let's go back to you. There is another thing that we learn here, that your interpretation is Sarah laughed because she didn't trust an Abraham prophecy. Okay? This is very important for all of us to understand. And I learned this last year or a couple of years ago. And it changed my understanding of many things. Okay? If somebody says to you, let's say that you are like incredibly sick, okay? And somebody says to you, a total stranger that noticed that you are sick or whatever, comes to visit you, and said, may God bless you with speedy recovery, right? You may say, what do you know about my case, right? That's what Sarah did. What do you know? I'm old. He's old. And the rabbi said, nope. Your obligation when somebody said something like that is to say amen. Doesn't matter who. Doesn't matter how. Somebody said, may God bless you in the name of Jesus with health. What do you say?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You don't know, maybe the person was an angel who came to give you good news, and then poof, it's gone again or whatever.
Because we don't always recognize angels.
Because it came with a good intention. And your obligation is every time somebody comes with a good intention and gives you a blessing, doesn't matter what it is, you say amen. That was Sarah's failure not to do that, but now we can learn from her mistake, because God gets upset. Why is she laughing? She should be saying amen. Right? Let's see here. Rocky says, truth consists of more than facts. It includes some judgments of what is best at the end of the day. Yeah, I understand now. Thank you, Rocky. Michael, Sarah laughed because she was post-menopausal and wasn't aware that God had promised a child to Abraham. Kind of. But it looks like the Torah says that she was post-menopausal. But when she laughs because saying Abraham can't perform anymore.
Yes.
Okay? That's the funny thing here.
Yes.
She doesn't say anything about her inability.
But that's her way of getting back. It's
Or maybe it's easier to blame another. I don't know. But I want you to understand
I get
this.
it.
The big mistake of Sarah was laughing instead of saying amen. And this is the same mistake that we make with somebody. You have financial difficulties, and somebody will say, "Oh, don't worry, everything is going to be okay." And you say, "What do you know about my finances?" Whoa! All you have to say is amen. From your mouth to God's ears.
People make judgments.
If somebody says, "Oh no, everything is going to be okay," instead of saying, "That's impossible," you say amen.
Yeah,
That's the right Jewish attitude
I agree.
when somebody comes with a blessing to
I
you.
agree.
And we learn it from here. Amparo Goldman is... What are those faces, Amparo? Please explain to me those icons. I want to know. Starburst Solaris, Sarah's attitude was carnal, not spiritual belief. Yeah, she kind of failed spiritually at that point. She failed spiritually, but I don't know, I'm trying to sympathize with her because she got frustrated for so long, right? Waiting for the child that never came. And we all, after a while, start failing. It's very difficult to stay in faith for that long.
That's right.
Very difficult.
Praying for something that isn't going to happen.
And I think it's there also
Or can't happen.
to give us a message of hope. Say, look, Sarah failed.
Nothing is impossible.
Sarah failed. Don't be too harsh on you. Right? She failed. And she was married to a recognized prophet. Somebody who spoke to God every day. Anyway, let's continue.
But was he a prophet then?
Yeah, he was a prophet. He was recognized. Actually, the first time that the word Navi, prophet, is mentioned in the Torah is when the people of Canaan recognized that Abraham was a prophet. He was kind of, what's the word? He was
Blessed?
not blessed. He was recognized as a prophet by the people of Canaan.
I always thought that he didn't become a prophet or wasn't recognized as a prophet
Look.
until he went from Avram to Abraham.
Yeah, no, but he was always. That's why
Oh, even before
he got
that.
all these people with him when he left his home. Look, my wife is here. She is there. Exactly, difficult to believe considering her history and what was in front of her. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. Now, the Rambam now. Remember Rambam? Maimonides, Middle Ages. Total genius. He would say, great is peace. Okay? Great is peace. For the entire Torah was giving only to increase peace in the world. This is funny because I think almost every religion tried to claim the same thing,
Yes.
right?
It does, yeah, for sure.
Except that they have different understanding
Of peace.
or how to create or impose peace, right?
Sadly, that's true.
But at the end, that's what they truly believe, that whatever they're doing is going to bring,
They all believe that theirs is the true word.
and then it's going to bring peace at the end, right? But Judaism is not an exception, right? But it's at least what Maimonides says is this is peace through ethics, not peace through any other means, through ethics,
Ethical behavior.
by understanding how to behave to create peace. Because what he will say is to the halachically untrained individual, it will be very difficult to find the right attitude to create peace or to bring peace. Okay? Anyway, so let's continue with peace. Now, listen to this. I want to give you a few examples from the Talmud. Okay? This is from Masechet Shabbat, the Babylonian Talmud. Rava, what's one of the famous rabbis? Rava said, "It is obvious to me that it's a fixed list of priorities." Remember we talked about that? list of priorities, the ranking, okay? What I want you guys to understand is this list of priorities, this ranking, was always in the rabbis' minds, and they were always working it and reorganizing them.
So it's like a sliding scale.
Now, it's interesting because different rabbis will have a different list. And that's why it's so important that you always go to the same rabbi for all your halachic issues, not shopping around every time you have a problem.
We've had that conversation about rabbi shopping.
Because basically what you do is you adopt the rabbi and you adopt the rabbi's
Philosophy of life.
or list of priorities, okay? And that becomes your guide. Okay, now Rava has his own. And I guess he wasn't humble because he said, it's obvious to me. It's almost like, how come you cannot see it? It's obvious to me that there is a fixed list of priorities, okay? And if you cannot see it, it's not my problem. I can explain it to you, I cannot understand it for you. When a person is poor and must choose between purchasing oil to light a Shabbat candle for his home or buying oil to light a Hanukkah candle, okay, a Hanukkah lamp, the Shabbat lamp for his home takes precedence.
I knew that was going to be the answer.
Doesn't matter, it's obvious. Why? This is due to peace in his home. Shalom in the home. How so? Without the light of the lamp of Shabbat, his family will be sitting and eating their meal in the dark. Similarly, if there is a conflict between acquiring oil to light a lamp for his home and wine for the kiddush of Shabbat, okay? First is the oil, then is the kiddush. Okay? It's very interesting because the lamp of Hanukkah is
And
not
that's
to.
the order we do it in anyway.
Is it,
on Shabbat.
the light of Hanukkah is not to illuminate. It's just to make the miracle public to the world. Nothing to do with your home. The candles of Shabbat were to illuminate the home because you cannot have any other kind of. You can't go turn on and off the lights. So the light of Shabbat were very important.
And that's the order in which we do Shabbat.
Yeah.
Anyway, first the candle, then the wine.
And they will say that if you don't, with this, I know I went and read back of the background of Rava, what he said. He said if you're eating in the darkness, it's stressful. And if there is stress at home, eventually you're going to start fighting. Right? And we are talking about preserving the peace in the home. Just saying. Okay, let's continue. Now, listen to this. Rabbi Akiva taught, if a man, how do you say man in Hebrew? Another word? Ish. Remember Ish, man, Isha, woman. So, Rabbi Akiva taught, if a man, Ish, and a woman, Isha, merit reward through a faithful marriage, okay, the divine presence rests between them. So here we have something very interesting, because now we start understanding, in the words of Rabbi Akiva, why is so important Shalom Bayit, why is so important to preserve the peace between husband and wife. Because Rabbi Akiva says, if there is peace between them, it's not just a nice thing to see, the divine presence rests upon them.
Be peace in the world.
No, so basically what we are doing is we are allowing God to be present. So now we are taking a personal relationship, we are making it a theological goal, a spiritual goal, because we want God to be present. Okay? It's not just about relationships anymore. There is another layer here. That's what Rabbi Akiva is trying to explain. So let me read again. If a man and a woman merit rewards through a faithful marriage, the divine presence rests between them. Okay? The word ish and isha are almost identical. Do you have your screen there? No, you don't.
No.
Oh, you have to see this, Shelly. Otherwise, you won't understand it.
It's okay, Rabbi. It's really
Look, I will show you. I'll show it to you. You see that? Ish,
Right.
Isha.
Yeah.
That is only two letters difference. Okay? So let me read here. So, the difference between them is the middle letter Yud in Ish and the final letter Hey in Isha. These two letters can be joined to form the name of God spelled Yah. Yud Hey.
Yeah, Yud-Hey.
Okay? But due to the licentiousness, if due to licentiousness they do not merit reward, the divine presence departs from them. Okay? So this is the interesting. It says Ish Isha, right? The Yud and the Hey forms the word Yah, which is the name of God. What happens if you remove those two letters? What do you have? Esh, which means fire, conflict,
Anger.
fire. So that's the thing. So if there is peace, is Ish Isha, Yah, God. If there is no peace, is Esh Esh, two fires fighting each other. If God is not part of that relationship, and that's why it's so important for us to preserve the peace in the home, and that's why even God lies a little bit
To maintain it.
to maintain them. Okay, so Shalom Bayit, that's the thing. Now we still have 7 minutes, so I want to introduce another concept here that is also beautiful before we leave, and it's the concept of hospitality. Okay,
Right?
because that was a common goal of Abraham and Sarah.
Yes.
If there is something that they were famous for, was hospitality. Look what happened with the 3 angels who came. Hey, come in. Let
Come
me.
in and rest.
I will prepare a feast for you. And actually, it's interesting because they over-delivered. They said, "Come to eat a little bit of bread and drink a little bit of water," and then instead they put a feast for them without telling them. People usually do the opposite, right? They promise big, they deliver small. Abraham promised small, delivered big. Okay, but let's read this text. It says, Adonai appeared to Abraham by the oaks of Mamre. He sat at the entrance of the tent during the heat of the day. Now, the rabbis understand that this is right after circumcision, and he went to this place with lots of shadow, oaks of Mamre, because I guess there weren't too many trees in the area. So he went there to rest and to recover. And then he said, right after the circumcision, he sat at the entrance of the tent during the heat of the day. Why? To spot travelers.
So he was always looking for travelers?
That's the Midrash. Even after the circumcision. Now listen to this. Abraham raised his eyes and saw. Okay? And there in front of him stood 3 men. Doesn't say angels, 3 men. And he saw them and ran from the tent door to meet them. Whoa, ran. He was just circumcised. Let's continue. Prostrated himself on the ground. Ouch!
Did he recognize them or instinctively know who they were?
No, he didn't. He saw 3 men. That's why the Torah is so specific. It was saying not malachim, okay? Anashim. Okay? Anashim. And said, my Lord, if I have found favor in your sight, please don't leave your servant. Please do me the favor and come to my place. I don't want somebody else to invite you over. Has to be me. But you see how amazing it is right after the circumcision he did this? But there is something else that we have to understand here. There is a verse in Deuteronomy that it says, it is your God alone whom you should follow, whom you should revere, whose commanding you should observe, whose orders you should heed, whom you should worship, and to whom you should hold fast. Okay? To God. Now, listen to this, and I'm going to go back to the previous text. Okay? The text said, Adonai appeared to Abraham. Okay?
Yep.
God appeared to Abraham. Let's imagine you, Shelley. You're there. God appears to you. I said, hi, Shelley. How are you doing? I said, well, here, recovering. Thank you for visiting. How about you? Well, it's lonely. I'm the only one here, right?
Who are you talking to?
Yeah, but you said they had a conversation,
Yeah.
God and Abraham. At the same time, 3 people come and stand on the other side of you. Will you say to God, you know,
Excuse me, I have to go get these
yeah,
people.
can you come in a few minutes? I have these 3 strangers who I don't know them, right? And I would like to invite them over. So thank you for coming. Bye-bye. Will you do that?
No, you can't do that, but you could invite God to come with you to greet them.
Okay. Just saying, it's a fair question, right?
You could invite God to come with you to greet them, or you could beckon them to come closer.
So basically what we learned there is,
You can't tell God to get lost.
no, you can't. So we know, basically, that's why I brought the message, the verse from Deuteronomy, how important it is to be with God and to worship God. But if there is a person in need, that takes precedence.
And these visitors take
So
precedence.
if you have to, if there is a need, the human need takes precedence over praying to
Over
God.
spiritual need.
There was a famous rabbi, I can't remember, a Hasid rabbi, and I can't remember his name now, that he was famous because he taught his students that on a Shabbat table, when you have guests, you eat first and then you do all the Shabbat songs on the table.
Yes.
The Shalom Aleichem and all that,
Yeah.
because he was saying, you know, the angels can wait, but my guests are hungry.
Yeah.
No, but that's not the...
And that's what often happens
No,
when
but
the rabbis teach.
Halakha says that Shalom Aleichem comes first, and the Shabbat Zmirot comes first, and then you eat. But he actually said, no, we should eat first, and then we sing Shalom Aleichem, because we learned that when you have guests, you take care of your guests first, and then you take care of God. It was very interesting, the change in the order, following what we learned in this week's parsha. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm going to remove this here. Thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon, and your presence is appreciated. Thank you, Shelley, for coming in person.
You're welcome, Rabbi.
And Rocky, hope to see you soon here in person as well. And everybody else, if you can make it to the ready to be in person here, it will be amazing. Okay, it will be amazing. So the class will be restreamed tonight at 8 p.m. If I do it right this time. Last week I messed up and it went out at 10 p.m. I don't know why. I guess I wasn't paying attention. But if I am paying attention, it's going to go out again at 8 p.m. Central Time if you want to watch it again. Okay? And don't miss this Saturday morning. We have a special service at the Shari Zedek. It's a service of unity. It's a service to strengthen our faith in God and in solidarity with Israel. And also tonight, I think it's at 7 p.m. at the legislature building here in Winnipeg. We are getting together to pray for Israel. So if you're around, if you can make it tonight at 7, I will be there. So hope to see you there. It's not going to be about politicians, in case you're wondering. Not this time. Not this time. It's not that too many politicians wants to be in solidarity with Israel anymore.
No,
So
not even.
it's good that we didn't even try to invite them. So this is just about
Just us.
peace and prayers.
Yes.
Okay, 7 p.m. It's going to be streamed through the Etz Chaim platform this time. Last time we used Shari Zedek once. This time we are using Etz Chaim's platform, which I don't remember.
Will it
But
be archived, recorded?
so it's
that
going
it
to be
can
streamed
viewed
there. It's going to be.
So it
Yes,
can be
going to be
viewed
there.
afterwards?
So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe. Okay, let's keep praying for Israel. Hope to see you soon. Bye, everyone.